What do you get when you get John Wick mixed with Tim Allen's The Santa Claus? This is basically what you get. And that's Violent Night, starring David Harbour.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the Ranger do most of the work.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
Directed by Tommy Wirkola. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Got a couple of other movies under his belt. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, starring Jeremy Renner, who we talked about recently, like 3 minutes ago. He did this zombie movie, Dead Snow, and a sequel. Then he did a Netflix movie that came out a couple years back called What Happened to Monday. I never watched.
Oh, I heard of that. Was a good one.
Yeah, I had heard some good things about it. So this movie, Violent Night, I don't even know what this is. It's a
Christmas movie. What do you mean?
It's like Die Hard, but actually a Christmas movie. Because, you know, there's that meme of, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? This is like the Die Hard Christmas movie. It's like essentially largely
it was
similar
a lot
plot.
of it's like Die Hard, Home Alone, Bad Santa.
You guys have not seen, obviously, Abraham Lincoln.
No.
Vampire Hunter.
No.
Because that's exactly that movie is amazing. You're missing out.
So
there's a cheesy CGI fight where they're running on a stampede of horses fighting each other. It's amazing.
Yeah. Cinematic masterpiece.
This is that movie, except instead of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, you're Santa Claus Viking fucking warlord. This
is what Marvin said to a T. It's like a mashup of like every Christmas movie ever.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, just some blood and violence mixed into it.
Yeah.
This not only stars David Harbour, it stars John Leguizamo, Beverly D'Angelo, who doesn't look like herself. She looks like a different human being. And Edie Patterson, who's usually very funny, and a couple of other people that I'm not familiar with. But
you're talking about because of all the work she had done or whatever?
I guess so. I didn't recognize her at first, and I was like...
I did not either, dude.
I was like,
oh my God, that's her.
I was like, dude, her voice is so familiar.
Holy
Who is she?
Shit, yeah.
$100 million in your personal vault. That's what I want for Christmas.
Yes, and the plot of this movie is David Harbour plays Santa Claus, like actual Santa. And
real Santa.
He's delivering presents to a house of rich people who you don't really get a good idea of why they're rich, but there's a little bit of exposition that they do work for like the government and some stuff. And some mercenaries attack this house on Christmas Eve to try to steal some money, and Santa has to fucking bust some heads in and save the day. So interesting.
Skull Crusher.
It's an interesting plot. It's a cool spin on like a Santa Christmas movie and an action movie.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, as the movie went on, I started to like it more. I kind of hated it for like the first half hour. I thought it was like pretty stupid and like not funny.
Yeah.
For some reason, they portray Santa as like an alcoholic. And in the beginning, he's like in a bar drinking, and he flies off on his sleigh and like pukes
throwing up and shit,
on the fucking bartender from the sky. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, why are they doing? Why this particular thing? And part of me was like, oh well, like I guess they're trying to like do the bad Santa thing, but
there was never. List keeps getting longer, and it's just driving him insane.
Yeah, like that's kind of why they, but they don't really ever explain it that much. Like,
right.
Like there's enough of it for you to like obviously assume that, but it wasn't really explored all that much. And that was like my biggest problem with this movie, is that it felt a lot to me like Samaritan. And when we talked about Samaritan, I think we all pretty much agreed that that movie like didn't give you enough of anything.
Nah,
it kind of just like played with little things that were interesting, but never really like dove into them. And I feel like this movie did the same thing. Throughout the movie, you get a little bit of Santa's backstory as to why he's able to fuck people up and be Santa. And you find out that like
Viking.
He's some sort of like Viking raider guy who's like 1,700 years old. Yeah, he's a fucking barbarian. So he just has like conquering skills, but that's literally all they tell you. They never really go into that anymore, and I wish they would have.
Yeah.
And Another little thing that they talk about throughout the movie is the Christmas magic. Like the explanation for everything was, oh, I guess it's just Christmas magic. And there's like a running joke where he's like, I don't really understand how it works. Well, I want to know how it works.
Yeah.
That would have been so interesting. Like, cause there's cool stuff that they do too with like, to explain like sort of not realistically, but like it puts like a good explanation onto things that don't make sense about Santa. Like, how does he have enough presents to fucking deliver them to the world? Well, he only delivers presents to kids that truly believe in him and that deserve presents. Oh, how does he fit all those presents into a single sack? I don't know. There's some magical fucking portal in his sack that he just pulls gifts out of. So it like, how does he fucking stuff his fat ass down a chimney? Oh, he turns into some fucking like pixie dust by touching his nose and like floating through. So there's like, they come up with some cool explanations for like the mythology of Santa, but they don't explore them at all. And I would have loved to see that be the case.
Nah, that's too much. You don't need that. It's a Christmas movie.
Yep. This is,
It's
I mean,
Christmas John Wick, like you said.
Santa's in a bad place and he's got to fight his way out of it, and they explain just enough. It takes itself seriously in that this is Santa and we have to explain some of this, but then it doesn't take itself seriously in that, well, he's also a Raider Viking warrior and he crushes skulls, so that's cool.
Yeah, it just felt like a weird addition to the plot of like why make him
It was
that?
amazing.
That shit made no sense, but it was funny.
Like I loved his naughty and nice list. It was just like this magic scroll that like showed people in the vicinity.
Yeah, it was great how he used that naughty list to keep track. And then when the hit squad shows up, the fucking list gets fucking crazy long.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, fuck.
I don't really think this was a great movie, if I'm being honest with you.
Wow.
It was entertaining. I thought it was completely carried by David Harbour. I don't think any of the other actors were good at all, including John Leguizamo. Like some of the lines that were coming out of him were just like, and I get this wasn't like a serious action movie. It's like kind of meant to be cheesy and silly.
Yeah.
Oh, but man, some of the fucking like just cartoonish like things that John Leguizamo as the villain of this movie was saying. I was like, sometimes I was just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the action was really that good. It wasn't that funny when it was trying to be. Like it was,
Dude,
I don't know. It's kind of
this
stale.
movie was fucking funny. And I think the action was good, especially the action during the like Home Alone part of the movie. Where the fucking guy, especially when the guy fell and like the nail was in his fucking chin. Oh my God.
That Home Alone sequence was my favorite part of the movie. So
it was so good.
I guess the other main character of the film is a child in the film named Trudy, played by an actress named Leah Brady, and she basically teams up with Santa. There's one part of the movie where she's hiding out in the attic from these bad guys that are trying to get her, and she had recently in the film watched Home Alone. So she sets up a bunch of Home Alone traps, and it's funny because she actually says to Santa at one point, like, "Oh, I can set up traps like Home Alone." He's like, "I don't know what that is, but yeah, do that. Just stay safe." So she sets up a bunch of like Home Alone traps, but they're like deadly and lethal fucking Home Alone traps.
They were lethal in Home Alone.
I think that's the joke, because there's that meme that like Kevin McAllister's like actually a fucking psychopath.
Well, it reminded me of that fake movie trailer that I sent you guys.
It's like if Home Alone was a horror film.
Purge. Yeah. It was like, I forgot what the name of it was, but it was like Kevin McAllister is stuck at home during the Purge.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. It was fucking funny.
There's that one scene where the dude steps on the broken ladder step and then gets the nail through the bottom of his chin.
That shit is crazy.
And his chick, the partner, shut up, Siri. The chick walks up. No, but she walks up to him and she's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And she like gags at him.
Jesus shit! You'll be fine. Sit tight. Back in a sec.
Like that was funny. That was like the one time where I really laughed. And there was some little like one-liners here and there, but like I feel like the moments where the movie like was really trying to be funny, I just didn't really find it that funny, personally.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I thought the little kid, not the little girl, but the little kid.
Oh, the TikTok guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, the little
influencer.
TikToker kid. He was like, how are you gonna kill us? What if you kill the one that has the money? He's like, fuck.
That was Bert. His name was.
Yeah, Bert. That's right.
Bertrude.
They don't tell you how he became Santa, why he became Santa, from going from a Viking to being Santa. I feel like you would have in this case. My attention wasn't held enough by like what was in the movie, like with the action and stuff like that. So I personally would have wanted to see that get fleshed out a little bit more. I think that would have been interesting. A little bit more character development for Santa Claus.
I think it would have been interesting. I don't know if I necessarily missed it though. I think I was content with what the movie had to offer.
One thing I was surprised about is this movie does have a fair bit of heart to it. There were a couple moments in this movie where I almost got a little choked up.
Santa almost died.
Well, no,
The
not
Christmas
that.
spirit, Dan.
Obviously, he
Not
wasn't
that?
dying. No.
Wow.
Come on, you didn't think he was going to die, Marvin.
I thought it was done.
Amateur. No, it was mostly the stuff between him and the little girl. Like when she first starts talking to him, and he's like, because what was cool and about his character is that like he's this fucking rugged, alcoholic, 1700-year-old fucking Viking warrior guy, but he like legitimately cares about people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the like the way he related with the criminals. He's like, remember when I got you that Huffy and 80
Oh yeah,
kid?
that was good.
Like that was cool stuff.
Yeah, and there's something about the magic of Christmas, like they talk about in this movie, that you remember from being a kid that you do lose when you become an adult.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad.
It is sad.
That's
Christmas passed, and it was like it didn't even really feel like Christmas that much.
Yeah. That's something that Stephen King's It plays with too. It's like the magic of childhood. That's like a big part of that story, because only like he preys on children. Children could only see Pennywise.
Right.
And the only reason that they could defeat him is because they have that belief that children have, that only children have. That they believe in magic and they believe in werewolves and that stuff. That's the stuff that defeats it in the end. So, like, I don't know, that's something that, like, the magic of childhood that you lose when you get older, that's, like, a big part of this movie. Big part of John Leguizamo's character is, like, early in his childhood, like, he's mad at Christmas because, like, his dad went broke and, like, they couldn't have a big Christmas anymore when they used to celebrate it.
And then he killed the guy.
Which was a pretty stupid motivation, personally, I think. But
Villain's got to have a backstory.
Yeah, but it played off of that theme of like, oh man, you do kind of become a fucking piece of shit when you get older.
True.
So yeah,
I like how some of the villains were like going back to what Dusty said when he was calling out like how the Christmas gifts he got him back in the day. They were starting to believe, and they were starting to question like, oh god, like we shouldn't do
Kill
this.
Squad
Like, this
showed
is
up.
Santa, dude.
Yeah,
right.
The Kill Squad showed up, and she's like, "He might actually be Santa." And the guy turns, he looks at her, he's like, "The fuck did she just say to me?"
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. So I don't know. I did not like the movie. I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was a fun movie. But it felt very like, I don't know, it like meandered through these different genres, and that felt very jarring. Like sometimes it was a comedy and then it would go to an action scene and then it would go back to comedy and then it was like kind of a little bit of a drama, and I don't know. So that it didn't really flow that well to me.
I thought the dialogue was really bad at times.
Yeah.
I can agree with you on that. Like there was just terrible lines. But I think the writing of the story overall, I like it. But this is my kind of flick. I love these. The fun, entertaining,
right?
A little bit of everything. It gave you a little bit of everything. It gave you some feel good. It gave you some violence. Gave you a little holiday spirit. It's I love this movie. It was fun.
Come on. Which one of you did that? Prancer? So unprofessional.
It's a little bit back and forth on IMDb right now. It's got a It's got a 6.8 in user ratings, but the critic score is not that great.
That's because they don't believe in Santa.
What do critics know?
That's true.
Yeah.
They don't have
Critics,
the magic of Christmas.
Yeah, they've been lost their souls, so that's fine.
6.8 on IMDb. I would probably give this like I would give this like a 6.
I could, probably 6.5 to be honest.
All right.
I give this a 7.
7?
Give it a 7. I would bump it up. Yeah.
That's fucking
Bump it
high.
up.
I love these movies. They're so fun. I was cracking up when I was watching this, and I can see the cringe and the cheese behind some of the dialogue, but it doesn't matter.
You can look past it. It's Christmas.
Check it out if you haven't, folks. If you have, let us know what you think. You can hit us up on Twitter or comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, consider leaving a like if you liked the video and subscribing for more. And you can click that playlist over there to see other movies that we've reviewed in the past on the channel. But other than that, folks, that's going to do it for us. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Costa.